It's Friday. We made it to Friday. How about that? I'm finishing up some packing for. I just sold some art yesterday, so I have a couple of things to pack up this morning. But I wanted to go ahead and get the live stream started, and my goal is to always get on here at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time. So not quite ready to sit down and start working on some things on screen, but in the meantime, let's just pull up what I am going to be working on here shortly. So yesterday I discovered that there was a page I had missed from my High Strangeness Redux project. I have re-inked the first half of the graphic novel, which is going to be split into two books. And so the first 60 pages are inked, and I started lettering it Wednesday. And as I was doing that, found that there was a page that I had missed that I did not ink. So I am going to go back and work on that page this morning. And that is, let's just see which page that is. It's page 22. So I'm just going to kind of zoom in here for a moment. That's the page I'm going to be re-inking in a moment. I have to go over here and finish packing this art. And I'll share with you. So this is what I just sold. I sell a lot of original art and art prints over on my eBay store. And this one is an art print. And it is a Hulk drawing that I drew in 2003. So this is a very high resolution, high quality art print. It's printed on 2-ply Bristol board, and it also has the pre-lined artboard blue line template around it. And it really is almost identical to the original art in quality and feel. But I do have noted here that this is an art print. And it is hard signed below it. I ship them in these really nice durable plastic protector sleeves. So that's what they're getting. And I always send a thank you sketch. So this is my little quick thank you sketch with every purchase, so you get a little bonus. And I usually sketch it on the back of the packing slip, and I try to add a little bonus swag. In this case, it's a sticker for Hark, which is one of my comic books. So I'm just gonna I'll just turn the camera around so you guys can kind of follow along with that process a little bit anyway. I mean, it's a pretty simple process, and then I ship it in very durable cardboard. I just find cardboard that I can repurpose to ship art with. Hopefully that's not too loud. It's kind of loud tape. And my mail carrier usually gets here around like now. So I'm hoping I can get this out the door before she arrives. If not, I've got a post office close by. I always try to ship items next day. So if you buy some art from my eBay store, I always try to get it out the next day. Don't always, but usually. Alright, so that's taped up. So now I just gotta print out a label. And let's see. Orders. Ah, here it is. Shipping label. Oh, I have to weigh it. I'll be right back. This is 13.5 ounces, which is just about where I had estimated. So we'll just put 14. All right, and we'll purchase the shipping label here. I've got my desk in standing mode right now. I usually try to mix that up so I'm not sitting all the time. Not very good for your back and health to be sitting all the time, so I try to kind of switch it up during the day. So tomorrow I will be at Lake County Comic Book Convention. It's a one-day show. If you're local in Florida, Central Florida, in that area, I hope you'll stop by. Oh, this was for a client. This was a banner design. I always have some graphic design thing open whenever I'm working that I forget to close. Now we need to go. All right, let's go over here. I really have too much stuff open. So this is my shipping label. There might be an easier way to go about this, but this is not. Alright, let's print this out. Change my print settings. I've got a little label printer here on my desk. Okay. Got my little label. All I have to do is apply that. Alright, I will be right back. I just have to put this out for pickup. So I did make it. Mail carrier has not arrived yet. So I think oh, here's the water. I am going to lower my desk. So anyway, I am doing this show tomorrow. I've got some things to prep today for that. But for now, I do want to get this page re-inked. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to repurpose my template get rid of all these layers. What is that? Don't need that either. Alright, so then I've got to bring in the original page. And that was page 22. Oh, that's right. I can't import PDFs in Clip Studio. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Get rid of that. So I've got to open up the PDF and then convert it to a JPEG. Save that. Actually, I might. Maybe I can copy and paste it. We'll see. Sometimes Clip Studio does not like that. Nope. Doesn't look like it's going to let me do that. So we'll save this as a JPEG. JPEGs. Oh, it's trying to save it as a PNG. I'm not sure. I probably should just save it as a JPEG. PDF. Remastered JPEGs. Now we'll bring it in. I got to adjust my tablet here a little bit. There it is. So this is a comic that I drew in the late 90s. It was my first graphic novel. And I know I've talked about this before, but the project involves re-inking it in high resolution because I no longer have good quality scans. And I'll zoom in. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, the difference, but it's pretty blown out. right? I mean, it's okay when it's shrunk down, but it's really not, it's not usable for print. And so this book has been sort of in limbo for many years because I couldn't do anything more with it. I did a print run originally, and it was also a web comic, but then after that it was sort of, that was it. I moved on to other projects, but I always wanted to come back to it and really give it the treatment I think it deserved. So that's what we're going to do. So what I, just to so you understand the process, I then convert it to blue lines. I'm going to lighten it quite a bit, like so. Then I'm going to start defining the panels. And to do that, you can create these guides in Clip Studio. And I just drag these guides over to approximate where the panels are. And there are some weird, I made some weird choices with how I laid these pages out back in the day, and so I'm going to clean that up a little bit. It's just one of the little things that I'm doing to improve this graphic novel. Nothing major, but just some cleanup work. Just don't really understand why I had the panels all over the place. They're not really, I don't know, just doesn't, some of it didn't make a lot of sense looking at it now. Of course, when you look at your old work, you can find a lot of things wrong and things that you would do differently and better. And I've tried not to go down any rabbit holes in this project and really, for the most part, stick pretty true to the lines, the actual lines that I put down. But that seems a little thick. Problem is, the only thing I don't like about Clip Studio is the settings seem to be different across different devices. So I do most of my inking on my iPad Pro. I guess the best way to do this would be, and so basically the brush thickness looks different on my Wacom. It's like set differently, and I'm not sure how to fix that. I'm just going to pick a page at random and I'm going to grab the panels. Alright, I guess that was right. I think it was 15. Yeah, alright, that was right. So I'm just going to get rid of that. Just seemed like it was too thick, but it's not. So the cool thing about these guides, it really snaps the panels into place. And it has a cleaner look to it. This one looks like I left open, so I think I'll leave that panel open. Then the other thing, some of these faces, I'm not sure if I need to redraw that. I mean, I probably should. So these little guys come in pretty handy whenever I'm dealing with a pose that could be problematic. I will try to refer to this a little bit. His head seems a little strange. I think I'm just going to leave it alone. It's not really something I feel like I need to redraw. Just trying to find opportunities to make some little improvements as I'm re-inking it, but I think we're pretty good here. Then I need to save this, so I'm going to save it. This was page 22. I guess there's already a 22. Alright, we're going to call this. I'm just going to call it additional, and then I'll figure out. I'll have to probably renumber these files. So for this project, I turned my stabilization up to 100. And what that does, it kind of keeps the lines very crisp and very very smooth, because that was the style that I used for this book. Whereas some of my other stuff, I will turn that stabilization down and it gives me a grittier, kind of a looser line. Just going to bump up that blue just a little bit. Obviously, I can't exactly replicate my brush strokes, but it's pretty close. This was kind of a weird style for me too. I was trying to channel some Jack Kirby lines. I just felt like that would be interesting to implement for this book. I felt like it would make the story more accessible, because it's not a superhero comic. It's just not a very action-packed comic. It's really a more of a philosophical journey, and deals with UFOs and that whole thing, that whole phenomenon. And so there's a lot of what I hoped would be thought-provoking ideas presenting. So it's not a typical comic. It's definitely a more cerebral kind of story. And so I felt like it needed a little more juice visually. And so that's why I drew it like that. Varying the lines a little bit, but I don't want to stray too far from what I had drawn originally. It's almost like a restoration project or a special edition because it does have some improvements. But I didn't go full George Lucas on that. I just, like I said, there are a few things that I'm adjusting. If you want to catch up on these videos, they are on my YouTube channel. And you can look me up there. I'm thinking about turning these into more of a tutorial kind of approach. I've seen that there are a lot of comic book artists who are teaching online, or they are part of these programs that offer online courses. And I've looked into it, and a lot of it, they seem very cookie cutter. Like the online courses, they're not really customized that much because they are templated. And so I guess you just buy into it, and they help you set everything up, and then you sell your courses online. And don't know if that's something I would need to do if I just live stream this and treat the live stream like okay, this is a course. We're going to do an hour course on inking, for instance, like I'm doing now, and just talking through it, just like it's a class. So I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about really kind of adjusting these live streams a bit. In which case, I have to practice at it. I have to get better at that part of it. I have taught before. I taught how to draw comic courses at community colleges, but this was many years ago. I did a class in California. I mean, I was very young, and I did that. And then I taught several classes in the late 90s. I did a couple at Ohio University, and I did a couple at I forget. There were like community colleges in the area. And I really enjoyed it, and I've had people tell me recently like you should teach, and I hadn't really listened to that, but lately I am listening to it. I will say that if you're going to learn how to ink comics, I recommend that you learn the traditional tools first instead of the digital. I just think that you'll have a stronger foundation if you know how these tools work analog, because at their best the digital tools really do just emulate, right? They try to mimic those tools, so why not learn those tools first? I think that would be valuable. I don't know if that's what beginner artists are doing these days. I just don't know if that's part of the thinking process, or if it's just everybody just kind of dives into the digital ecosystem. This project may seem very laborious, but I work on it here and there. It's not like something that I have this deadline necessarily that's set. I don't know what that is. I think I'm just going to get rid of that. It looks like some kind. Oh, I know what it is. It's the shadow of his lapel. Now it makes sense. I always start out with the figures when I'm inking. I am going to change her face a little bit. I was trying to kind of give her this sort of spooky shadow, dramatic shadow, but she kind of looks like she has raccoon eyes. I don't think it works, so I'm going to adjust that and do some shading, because I'm adding these halftone shades. Well, they're more like, it looks almost like a watercolor wash. And I'm going to use that instead. I guess my best advice for inkers starting out is to remember what the job is. I think some inkers don't understand that, maybe, and I think it takes time to understand that. but you're really just adding depth. That's really your job, is you're adding depth, you're adding dimension. And to do that, you have to understand what the penciler intended with things like light sources and, you know, atmosphere of a certain scene. What is the mood of the scene? You know, to understand the story. You know, the inker really needs to know what's happening in the story too. And then it's really just to bring depth, clarity to, and not to overpower the penciler's intent. Some pencilers are oh, thank you Zikix, I appreciate that. But like, some pencilers are very tight. Like, their pencils are, everything's there, all the information is already on the page, and it's really just the inker's job to add that subtle level of depth, right? And that happens with the variance of brush strokes. That gives an object more definition and depth that a pencil, at least penciling comics, can't really achieve. And that was really the whole purpose of inkers to begin with, was the printing processes could not reproduce pencils. And so that's why there were inkers. You had to make the artwork legible, you know, and because without it, it would just be a muddy mess, because printers just did not have the capability. Not the kind of printers that comic book publishers use, I should say. You know, of course, there are lithograph printers back in the day that could reproduce pencil drawings really nicely, but those were very expensive. Kind of printing and paper that was used for comics was the cheapest of the cheap. And so you had to have an inker to really see the art. And that has changed. Of course, now we have very high quality printers. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, I ink quickly too sometimes. It just really depends on the style that I want to work in. Like, the book I'm working on, aside from this project, has a very Klaus Janson kind of loose, gritty line, and so I am inking it pretty quickly. It's got very bold, more, I don't want to say frantic lines, but definitely more economic, and just, you know, I'm not noodling around, in other words, with it. And with this book, it's different, because I'm literally just trying to follow my old lines as much as I can. But there are some inkers like this that they do just kind of very laboriously and slowly get those lines down, and which is fine, you know, if that's what you want to do. I actually learned to slow down in the last few years, because I kind of fell into this sort of trap where I had to produce a lot of art quickly. I was doing a lot of commissions, and I just kind of, the quality started to suffer, I felt like. And so the last few years I have finally learned to slow down a little bit, especially in the penciling stage, of just planning better and planning my compositions, planning the layouts, making sure the anatomy is as good as I can make it. Really just taking extra care with my art. I have learned to do that. Because it gets easy to just blow through stuff just to get it done. I don't want to do that anymore. It's hard enough to draw comics, so why not put more energy into it, at least. Thank you. This is if you can't see it on screen, this is Clip Studio Paint. This is the app that I use. And if you have that app, I mean, it's really the best, I think, the best app for comics, for making comics. And the cool thing, I don't think you were on the stream when I was talking about this, but the nice thing about Clip Studio is you can change the settings of your brush. Like, for instance, this one, I have what's called the stabilization setting. It's set to 100, so it's set to the maximum. And so what that means is the brush lines are very smooth, very crisp. And that works for this particular style. But then you can change it. My other book that I'm working on, I have the stabilization all the way down to 6, and so that gives me that quicker kind of almost sketchy look. And I'm planning, I was just talking about this, I'm planning to start doing live stream tutorials and basically treat it like a live class, like a just like a tutorial. And I'm going to just deal with things like how to ink, how to draw figures, those sort of things. That's on my agenda anyway. To basically work on these books, but I can provide some insight too. Yeah, inking is, well, none of it's easy. It's all hard. But I learned how to ink traditionally. I learned with a, brush on paper and India ink. And that's really where I started. But there's no denying that the digital inking is quicker. It's cleaner. It is a more efficient method. It's just like anything. It's just a lot of it's just a matter of practice, study other inkers, study art that's not comics, and just learn. I'm still trying to do that. I'm still trying to learn. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. We all start there. Definitely something you have to have passion for to do it, because it is a lot of, I mean, just making comics in general is just, it's a lot of work. So you gotta You just gotta really love it. Sure. Did you want me to like critique it or just look at it? Can you send me, I don't know how, can you display the page in the chat? I don't know if that's possible. Or maybe a link. I guess maybe send me a link and I'll look at it. And if you want, I could look at it during the live stream if you want. That's totally up to you. I know I've had that. I've done that a couple of times for artists, and I'll just sort of review their portfolio during a live stream. But some people aren't ready for that, and that's fine too. Okay, yeah. Yeah, just send me a link. And if you're interested in seeing more of my work, you can find me on Patreon. I should have these links popping up here on the bottom left corner, and I haven't noticed those appearing for some reason. Oh, there it is. It's weird. It didn't show up. Now it is. I guess I had to click on it. Anyway, those are links to all of my different channels. So I did a lot of photo reference for this comic, and this was, I mean, the internet was really still very new, and there wasn't much in the way of references online. And so I used a lot of local things. I went on location, I guess you would call it, and took a lot of photos for a lot of the different settings in the book. I used people as reference. My dad is in this book. There are several other people. So it was definitely a kind of a lost method. I don't think many comic book creators today would go out with a camera and start taking pictures, because we don't really have to. You know, there's so much online that we can pull from. But that was kind of a cool experience to do it, to go scout out locations. And I found this old car that was in somebody's driveway that would have been, I thought, well, this would be perfect for the scene with the Men in Black. And so I go up and knock on the door, and I explain, hey, you know, can I take pictures of your car for I think I just called it an art project or something. I don't know if I got into specifics of what it was about. And, you know, people were always very willing to let me take pictures of locations and things. It's kind of cool. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a favorite. And if it's the one you're referring to, first it was a commission. I did a commission at a comic convention, and then I decided to do another one, and I sold that, and then I've sold, I think, one or two prints of it also. And my prints are very, they look and feel like original comic pages. They're really high-res prints. And yeah, that one turned out really nicely. And one of them is Doom in his classic costume, armor, and then one of them is in his Secret Wars kind of futuristic, high-tech looking armor. So I am going to be ending the live stream soon. We're almost at the hour mark. I'm hoping to start doing more, like maybe an hour and a half next week. I'm going to try to add a little more time to these live streams, but today I can't. I've just got too much to do. I've got a convention to get ready for, and then I also have what I call billable work for a client. It's for I'm also a graphic designer, so I do a lot of graphic design work. Okay, let's see. So it doesn't look like the link came through. I don't know if the chat, I don't know if it blocks it or something. Um, how can we do this? You can email it to me, and I'll just type in my email address for you. So if you see that, you can just email it. I'll stay on the live stream long enough to do a little review for you if you'd like. Just let me know when you send it, and I will check. All right, I'll take a look. All right. So are these your pencils and inks? And is this part of the same story? Like the same sequence, these two pages? Oh, I guess I have to sign in. I haven't been on DeviantArt in a while. Hopefully I can get in. All right. Well, I can say right off that I like your sequencing. I like the where did that page go? Really like that first one. I mean, I like your compositions and your layout. I like that you have this nice big establishing shot here. It feels very desolate and cold and quiet, and you really evoke that in this style. It's very minimalist. I really like this. I just think it's got a very almost abstract looseness to it that I would recommend really refining this. And by that, I don't mean tightening it up. I mean just keep moving in this direction, right? Like, I love the textured effects here. It's all very, it's almost like every line here is there for a reason. You're not screwing around with anything. You know, it's all, every line has a purpose. You know, and I think that's a really strong quality that you have already, is that you know, this shows me that you know when to stop. You don't have to do anymore. This says it all. Even the figures in silhouette, you know, you didn't waste any time trying to render these beyond these really basic shapes. I would recommend, maybe if you put a little more realism into the objects, like if this helicopter looked a little bit more real world, I think that would improve this panel 100%. Like grounded a little bit, just a little bit more in reality, not as cartoony. I don't mean photorealistic, but just, look at a picture of a helicopter and just maybe put a little more energy into that. That would make this scene more compelling. But this is great. I mean, this is a great sequence. You know how to frame a scene. And then, it all leads into this, which is an important information, and that you've devoted the appropriate space for. So that's, you've already got, it's like this shows me you've already got, like, you have the basics right here. Establishing shot, great sequence, gets your attention, moves the story forward, and then this is your reveal. And so this is very good that you already understand that. I mean, there's some good stuff here too. You understand light and shadow. You've got some dimension to the flesh tones, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about it. I would rather just look quickly. I'm not even going to comment on that one, but great. A for effort. Yeah, again, your compositions are good. I would just work on your anatomy more and study that. Like, her hand's a little flat. The hands don't feel consistently correct. But those are like, it's almost like you already understand the most important part of telling a story. Now you just gotta, I would just recommend drawing from life more, and then apply that what I call muscle memory. Apply that more to your figures and your faces, and I think it's just a matter of practice, and study. Yeah. I mean, just keep refining this style. And now we're back to that. So yeah, that's really my quick critique. So hopefully that was helpful for you, and thank you for being here and showing your support. If you you can subscribe to my Twitch channel. I do the streams Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. and I multi-stream on Instagram and YouTube. So I'm here, and that's really yeah. I think you got some nice stuff. Definitely some potential. So with that, I am going to end the stream. Thanks for joining. Hope you have an awesome weekend, and I will be back here Monday.